me to the Tanya Hoffman's Fabulous TV show. And I'm here with my fabulous guest, because I only have fabulous guests come on my show, the Miss Fabulous Miss Dilys Davis. Raymond. Oh my gosh, I'm starting already.
It's all good.
Dilys Davis, because I have see, this is the problem with your name, because there's Raven Davis, and then there's Dilys, and I started mixing you up every single time.
So many Davises. It's all good.
And then there's Miss Andrea Sullinger. Yay! When I do that, I always feel like I'm Kermit the Frog. Like, yay!
I just love your energy, Tanya. You give me energy whenever I come on the show, because some days I'm just like, oh. And then when I come on your show, it's like, yay!
I was that way yesterday. I was on my show, and I was just like, I didn't have hardly any voice, because I've been speaking for 5 days in San Diego, and I've been talking the whole time to people, right? And I was just like, you know, sometimes you do things, I don't know if y'all do this, but you book things when you shouldn't have.
I've never done that, ever.
I have.
Yeah, Dilys is like right up front. Oh yeah, I've done that.
Well, of course, we've all done that. Yeah.
I show up, I get home at midnight on Sunday, and I have a program at 9 a.m. Monday morning, and I'm like, really, Tanya? Really? Nothing you need to do? I mean, you know, it's crazy. So tell us a little bit, ladies, about you. So we're going to kind of have a round robin real quick of, you know, who you are, and let everybody know I am Tanya Hoffman. This is my fabulous TV show, and I am the CEO and founder of the Public Speakers Association and Career Speaker Academy, and we have lots of fun and help people get their message out there to the world. So Dilys, why don't you tell us, and then after that, please post your website over to in the message area so people can click on it too.
I am Dilys Davis, motivational lifestyle coach, author, speaker, and founder of the Sip and Chat movement, which is empowerment events and forums where we sip responsibly, chat respectfully in a judgment-free zone, and a wife and an older sister and a New Yorker.
Yay! And you, Miss Andrea.
So I am Andrea Sullinger, and I hail from the great Pacific Northwest, where, miracle of miracles, the sun is out today. Yay! So I'm very happy. So I am a wife, a mom of 2 kids which is why I look like this, because I just ran them to school, and I was like, get out of the car, I gotta go. And so it was a frantic morning, but I've been a business and sales coach for the last 18 years. So yes, I've had many things where I've booked them and thought, what the hell am I doing? So I am the founder of AndreaSullinger.com, and I typically work with, I have 2 kind of sides of my business. So one side, I work with solo entrepreneurs, teaching them how to sell whatever it is that they do brilliantly. And the other part is that I work with corporate clients to help them build culture, collaboration, trust within their organizations.
Awesome. Yeah, Andrea is amazing. And both these ladies. And I was so honored to be awarded the Sip and Chat. What is the best speaker award?
Best speaker award. I gotta send you your certificate.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I can put it up here so people can see the Sip and Chat, right?
Yes,
so,
definitely.
Yay.
Yeah, she was on. I actually did it was all coaches of different industries, business coaches, holistic coaches, stuff like that. So Tanya actually won for best speaker.
Yay! I was so honored. It was so much fun. So what we want to talk a little bit today is about kind of reinvention, you know, our business, our life. Both of y'all are so good at that. You know, Andrea really helps people take them through the sales process and get out of their mindset. Dilys says, oh my gosh, you just help people with so many different things. So I thought we could kind of talk about, you know, because a lot of us are in that transitional part of our lives. We're like, all right, I'm kind of done with what I've been doing. I want to do more. And there's like, well, how do I do that, right? You know, Andrea, I know that a lot of people really struggle with the whole sales process, you know, because that's one of the things that starting up a business, most people have never done sales before. Do you have any suggestions on how people can kind of get started in learning that sales process?
Yeah, and I totally get why people kind of come to the table, right, with that attitude or mentality, which is sales is typically made out to be this negative, icky thing that you have to really step into really skeptically and very guarded. And I don't think anybody really wakes up in the morning and thinks, damn, I really hope I'm this amazing salesperson today. And I think that a lot of times too, depending on what industry you've come from or your background, a lot of times entrepreneurs don't realize that you are in sales. It doesn't matter what it is that you do. And if you're not in sales, you just have a really expensive hobby that eventually will break you. And so I spend most of my time, right, working not only with building systems, but the forefront of that and the foundational piece is the mindset piece, which is really navigating what sales is, how it's going to look and authentically align with your personality, your skills, the way that you really converse and carry out communication, whether it's verbal or nonverbal. What does that look like for you? Because it's not one size fits all. And then how do you define and design systems that will support that so that it can be an ongoing structured system, right? So if you don't have, clearly we're all in sales. So I love working with entrepreneurs who come to the table and say, I just want to help people, right? I just want to help, right? Of course, that's what we all want to do, but we also don't want to be broke. So, so really it's a mindset thing. And the thing I spend probably maybe the first little portion, it depends on how fast people go through, kind of my systems and my coaching is that we really work out kind of a morning mindset ritual. And for some night owls, it's not a morning ritual, it's a midday ritual, but whatever. It's a ritual that really helps to build that mindset muscle because we all have it. We all have those, times where you're just kind of falling down and you kind of fall in that pit of what is going on? Why me? How'd this happen? Where am I at? So you've got to be able to get back onto that, that strength of that and to rely on it so that you can go forward.
Exactly. And Dilys, I know that when you look at kind of people's reinvention of themselves, right? Give us some insight of what that would look like for somebody.
For me, with the kind of coaching that I do, just being a life coach, a lot of times, a lot of people are very down on themselves due to any past mistakes they make or just living in the past and not knowing how to come forward into the present, into the future. So there's lots of self-doubt. There's lots of not being able to forgive themselves for whatever reason. So where I try to do is try to help them with the healing and the whole closure part in order for them to forgive themselves in whatever aspect of their life, be it abuse or just whatever it is that's holding them back from moving forward.
Right. So when you start looking at somebody that's, when you see someone that's kind of holding themselves back, do you have like that first, what is that like first step for them to kind of take?
For me, I just tell them that, we all are human beings and human beings, we're all imperfect. We're going to make mistakes and not to just stay within that mistake or not to just stay there in that area where in that department of their life where they're not wanting to let go of that fear, guilt, and shame because they get so comfortable because we're so conditioned to live in fear and feel guilty. So I try to show them, a different direction of looking at different perspectives and how much they've accomplished so far in their lives. And they have taken leaps in faith and positive risk in the positive direction just to continue to keep on going because you're gonna fall, but you're not gonna fail. So I come at them with that approach.
And I think a lot of times, I don't know, this has probably happened to you ladies. There is some time when you get into a situation and you're like, I feel really uncomfortable right now, right? You're like out of your element and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I get myself in this spot? Whatever, if it's a good or bad spot. And then it's like trying to move through that. And it's all kind of in your head. I had this whole thing happen in San Diego this last week that I'm still trying to recover from. But a lady reached out from Facebook. We became really, great friends. We chatted over the phone. And when she found out I was coming there, she's like, let's get together. And then she's like, hey, can I bring a friend? And I'm like, sure, you can bring a friend. This friend is like, hey, let's go on my yacht. And I'm like, go on your yacht? Oh, I didn't bring yachting clothes. Yeah. I was like, oh darn, I forgot my yachting outfit, and and then the other lady was like, oh yeah, I'm going to the Oscars and I'm going to be at the Sharon Stone table. And I'm like,
what?
How am I in this conversation, But then I brought things to the table, but I had to get out of my head.
Power of positive thinking.
Why are you here, Tanya? That kind of thing.
Yeah. And a lot of people, they're like, yeah, but I can't do this and I can't do that because of what happened to me, or, I have 2 kids and I want to date, but nobody's going to want me because of 2 kids. I'm like, but you don't know that. Why are you limiting yourself from feeling that way? You're a beautiful human being. You have so much to offer, so much to bring to the table. Give yourself an opportunity to get out there. That happened to my sister when she had broken up with her kid's father. She had 2 kids, and she said that. So what I did was I took her speed dating, and I was like, talk about your kids. And she was so surprised to see the guys that were there that had children, and they started swapping diaper stories and formula and all types of craziness. So I always tell people, you shouldn't just you prevent that. You don't know what's going to take place. Just don't say, okay, well, no, I can't, and I won't, or this, that, next, and the other, because you never know how it's going to work out. Life is funny.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
And don't you find that, Andrea, too, that there's, people have so much head trash, from in the sales process, especially, but even just, kind of developing their business out. You have probably hear a lot of that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I'm a human being. I've got my own head trash. I call them mind gremlins. And I don't know if you guys remember that. I think the movie was called Gremlin, right? Like, myself, I'm really dating myself. So, but remember what they look like. And I really do visually think of the mind gremlins looking like that, just kind of tromping around in your head. And one of the things that I always coach people to do is to write out. Am I still echoey, by the way?
A little bit. I keep blocking myself or muting myself so it doesn't.
Okay. I don't know why it's echoey. Sorry. And I tried my headphones today, my new headphones, and I can't hear you. So when I talk, I tried them last night. Anyway, so one of the things that I suggest that they do is write out affirmations in the present tense about not just business things, but also life things that they want to tweak, correct, move forward, whatever. And then I suggest that you read them every day, and more than just reading them, that you have to stand up. You can't just lay in the bed and read them. You've got to stand up, be empowered, really read them with conviction and emotion, and just put them on. Do you know what I mean? Literally put them on you. And then the other thing I suggest is if you have an Android, you probably could do it too, but I'm an iPhone girl. So you take the voice record app and you record them, you saying them, and then you listen to them every chance you get. You're in the carpool line, you're driving to an appointment, you're waiting for your Starbucks, whatever it is, you listen to them over and over and over so that it builds up that muscle. So when you are in situations, we all get in those situations, Tanya, where I haven't had quite we'll be at the Sharon Stone table, but I'm willing to try that one on. But we all have those moments where we're like, what? Why am I in this group? This is intimidating, or I'm out of place, or what value am I bringing? I actually had one last week, and I realized that part of what it was is that I really, really respected this person that was sharing some things, thoughts about what they thought about me and my work, which was very positive and affirming, but I was kind of undoing it and dismissing it because I thought, oh my gosh, that could not possibly be true. You're talking to me. And then I realized, oh my gosh, shame on me. No. So really I canceled it out. And then the minute I was alone, I was listening to my recording again. Cause we all do it for whatever reason. We all have different triggers, but to constantly be reminding yourself and building that muscle, it's you could teach anyone how to sell anything, but the reality is that you are not going to be able to be consistent with it if your mind stuff is in the gutter. if you allow the gremlins to take you to the gutter, right? So, yeah.
I always say when I do speaking engagements or when I'm with clients and they're feeling a certain way, the exercise I do is I tell them to take a deep breath and just feel their heartbeat, because it's the only heartbeat that we have. It's that's the best gift that we have, and they can stop at any given point in time and, you know, create amazing opportunities and create memories for themselves that when they're on their deathbed, they could say, I lived my life. I did everything that I wanted to do without fear, guilt, shame. I did it.
Exactly. I love that. And Rosemary, come on in. I see that you're there. Just hit the little circle and come on into the spot. So it's about kind of reaching out and creating this kind of momentum within yourself. Because I know when I hear people that want to be speakers, you know, man, talk about, you know, head trash. They have sales head trash. They have, I've got to reinvent myself head trash. I got victim head trash. I've got all this stuff going on. And why would someone want to listen to me? That was my thing, right? Why would someone want to listen to Tanya? And so I started realizing they're like, well, they're listening to that dude or that woman that's up on stage, and that was crap, you know? I can't believe what they just said. So, you know, a lot of times it's, you know, you've got to create this momentum for yourself. And I love what Andrea had to say. And I would suggest everyone do that. And what I did is I wrote down everything that scared me. Stupid things, right? Men in ties, my voice, you know. And then I went and I hit those. I did them. So to get over my voice, I started an AM radio show. I was like, well, if they can't see me and all they could do is hear my voice, I'm gonna have to get over the, you know, we're gonna want to listen to me.
Right?
So you just do it and you push through those very hard times.
For me, I had a near-death experience with in 2011 where I had fibroids infecting my whole system, and I had to take them out. And 3 weeks later, I had my gallbladder taken out. So that was my wake-up call to say, okay, well, yes, you're important and you're here for a reason, and you have a purpose and you have a mission, and you have to see it through. And you being on a deathbed, that sums it all up right there. Like, there is nothing that you shouldn't do or can't do or hold yourself back from doing. There's no excuses or explanations, because when you reach that level of rock bottom, and the fact that I'm still here to tell my story, I have something to say, and people they need a message. They need something to hold on to give them that strength and oomph to make them move forward.
Well, and if people don't reach out and hear your message, then you can't change anybody's life. You can't start to help people transform. You know, if they don't meet you, Dilys, how are you going to transform their life, right? How can they start that movement if they can't, you know, get a hold of you, Andrea, you know, and hear what you can do for them and move them through a process? You know, for me, I'm like, when I meet somebody and I see their brilliance, and I'm like, you're not a speaker, you're not out there telling people your message. I'm like, that is so selfish.
Yep, it is very selfish, extremely.
Right. Because you're in your head and not helping people.
And everyone has something to say. Everyone has an experience. Everyone has something that they've been through they can share with somebody else, and let others know within their circle or their world that, you know, you're not alone. I've been there. I know what you're going through, but I went from point A to point Z and I did my work, and you can do it as well.
Exactly. And if anybody has any questions or wants to throw something at us, just go ahead and do that. You can push /Q, and then it'll pop up into the message area. So what is some, you know, kind of crazy things you've seen from some of your clients? Because I know every time I'm like always shocked. Perfect example is I was just at this huge event in San Diego, and a guy got up, two different areas. A guy got up on stage, and you knew exactly who he had been coaching with, because he sounded exactly like that person.
Oh, wow.
Every motion, every word, every, you know, blah, blah, blah. It was like, who is this guy? Because you didn't know who he was because he was pretending to be someone else.
Mhm.
I'm like, stop it. Just be
I think a
real.
lot of online entrepreneurs are pretending to be someone else.
Yep.
To be honest, I see it all the time, especially on social media platforms, because they're so afraid of their own voice. They're so
Mhm.
afraid of their own thoughts. What really they're afraid to kind of put themselves into a glass house. Which, right, the more you speak about what you think, what you know, your experiences, you open up the door for critics. And that's really scary to most people. And nobody likes it. I mean, I write things all the time. I have a Facebook group. And even in my own Facebook group, which you would think that I would get a little bit more slack, maybe because it's my Facebook group. Sometimes I'll write something and it will hit someone. And of course, it's really where they're at. It's really more about them. But, you know, they'll write something back and it's never great. I mean, I don't, you know, if it's snarky or whatever, I don't love that. I mean, I'm, like I said, I'm a human being. But the reality is that you've got to be willing to get a little dirty and to kind of take the hit for the team if you want to build your dream and if you want to be seen as an authority figure and as a leader in your industry. I mean, leaders don't come out unscathed. That doesn't work.
And for me, when I see somebody who has something negative, it's almost a gratifying now, because used to I'd be like, they don't like it. Well, you know, it would be like all blubber, and it's like, you know, Tanya, get over yourself. And so I started realizing it has nothing to do with me, right? That's what you were just saying. It has nothing to do with me. And it's always great when you can find those people, because now I always look, when I go in to speak someplace, I'm like, okay, here's 100 people. Ooh, like 10 to 25 of these people hate me. I mean, they just like, blah. And it's always fun to find that person now. So I'm like, oh, I wonder who it's going to be. Who's going to be the one who goes like, oh, Tanya, you know, and it's like this moment of, oh, great. I found the person who doesn't resonate with me. I don't have to deal with that person ever again. Move them away. And then let's go find the people who love you, who are ready to, you know, jump into your brilliance, you know, that are there to absorb everything that you're about to say. That to me is exciting.
You know, because you're making people feel uncomfortable. You're making people face themselves and deal with their own stuff. Like I was on Periscope a couple weeks ago talking about letting go of guilt and shame. And this one woman, she was like, you sound so angry. I said, I'm not angry. I'm very passionate. But if you feel like I'm angry, so be it. So, you know, and afterwards she got off my Periscope. I'm like, hey, bye to you too. But you just make them feel, you're just making people feel uncomfortable because you're talking to them. You know, sometimes when you're at church and the pastor's saying something, you're like, is he really talking to me? And you start to get uncomfortable. You're just making people feel uncomfortable when you do that. And that's fine. But best believe that when they're home or driving in their car, wherever they're going, they're thinking about what you said.
Right.
So I never take that as a negative, because I know it touched you in such a way where you're going to think about what I said and you're going to apply it to your life one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. I think the same thing in regards to, you know, people get upset when people unsubscribe from their list. And I tell clients, if you don't have people unsubscribing every time you send out an email, you're not being authentic enough, and you're not pushing yourself to your edge, and you're not pushing your audience to their edge. And the reality is if you flat out are just like, here's some dessert, here's some dessert, here's some dessert every time, honestly, you're being really lazy. And I just, you know, like, you should be getting unsubscribes every time. Go for the unsubscribe. Woo!
Because I post affirmations on my Facebook page, and they're very real, raw, and very transparent. And I'm going to be consistent where that's concerned. And a lot of times people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you actually said that. Yes, it needed to be said. And if you don't like it, then don't read it. You know, that's what I say. Because, I mean, I'm saying things that you're probably thinking and you really want to say, but you don't want to say it because you're worried about what other people are thinking.
Well, this is what I'm always surprised about. So, you know, people get really stuck with the negative because we love focusing on negative. We're like, oh, negative. And we're like drawn to it. Instead of just saying, bye, you know, it's okay, you know, block, delete. I love those buttons. So, you know, when you see people opt out, you're like, bye, you know, and it's a brilliant moment because people made a decision. And I know Andrea knows what this is about because it's like, make a decision, people, you know?
Yeah.
The other day I made my profile picture said, invest in yourself, trust me, you can do it. And I got like 3 likes, and somebody hit me up and said, what are you trying to say? I said, well, if the shoe fits, wear it. If you feel like you're offended by that. But that's so many messages and so many connotations. It doesn't necessarily mean financially. Could mean anything. But
well,
the fact that people,
and when you look at, like, if you go to like the Small Business Administration, when you speak there, they always have, everyone has to fill out an evaluation form. And I really love it. At first, I really was like, everyone has to do it. But you get all of these pages, and here you gave one presentation, and you have one person like, oh my gosh, that was the most brilliant thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It transformed me. And then the next page is, I didn't understand a damn thing that woman was saying. What was she trying to say? You know? And you're like, how could this be in one room? But that's the reality of people. We have this vastness to personalities, to absorption rates, to what people believe and where they are in their life. You've got to be okay with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The biggest piece of advice that I could give any entrepreneur, no matter where you're at in your journey and no matter how you're showing up in the world, is just to be consistent. Be consistent. Wherever you're at, whatever it is that you're doing or you're choosing to do or you're finding that works for you, be consistent. And the second piece of advice is be careful who you listen to. You know, I hear so many people say like the most ridiculous things to me about where they get advice, you know, business advice or growth advice or how they're going to scale their business or how they're going to launch or how they're going to sell or whatever. And it's like, you know, you come to find out it's your sister's brother's cousin's friend who's a plumber. And you're like, what does he know about, I mean, like your online code? What? I mean, how does that jive? But, you know, they take it in and they're like, well, Frank said. And you're like, well, Frank is a plumber, and nothing against plumbers, but you're in very different industries. So let's rein it in.
And people are, you know, getting personal advice from a person that's been divorced 3 times.
Right. Right. Well, and I always think, you know, when you see people on stage, you know, especially if they're pitching, you know, they've got, you know, a sell offer and stuff, and you listening to all these different people, and afterwards people come up and they're like, so what do you think, Tanya? What do you know? And I'm like, well, I don't agree with this. I love this. You know, there's always going to be things that you're going to say yes to, and other things that you just like, that doesn't work for me. That's not part of my world. And it's okay. You don't have to resonate with everybody, but find those that you do resonate with, and find those that are successful, right? Don't take advice from someone who's broke. It's like the first rule. You know, find those that do it.
I'm going to post that when I'm done here.
Okay, good. But it's true. You know, I had this incredible conversation with 2 gentlemen one time, and they were both wanting to start up a group for the Public Speakers Association. And one guy was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love everything. I'm ready to go, blah, 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 blah. The other guy was like, no, I need explanations. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, ask a question. I'd give him an answer. And he's like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And so I would reframe it, because my husband's a geek. I understand. Sometimes you got to reframe their questions. So, you know, or answers. And so I kept going back and forth. And the more we kept, you just felt like suddenly like you were going through sludge. You know, you're like squishing through this conversation. And then the most brilliant moment happened. He stopped and he screams into the phone, Tanya, would you stop laughing? I'm trying to be serious here. Oh, I am so sorry, which of course then made me laugh. And
like, you have the cutest laugh.
He obviously does not like it. And I was like, you know, Tim, it's okay. You just need to go off and do something with someone else. You know, it has nothing to do with me. We just don't fit. And it's okay when you find people you don't fit. You just don't do business with them.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
Yeah, and, you know, Tim Gillette was like, you know, life is too short to be that serious. I'm like, exactly. No, it wasn't you, Tim. It was a different Tim. So yeah, it's about being around people like yourselves, that that's what I love about what I've created. And everybody has that ability to create the people that are not only your clients, but the people that are your collaborative partners.
Yep, that's true.
Well, as an entrepreneur, why would you want to surround yourself or put yourself in a cage? I call it, the gilded cage. Like, why design your entrepreneurial life so that it feels really claustrophobic and very prison-like? I mean, if you want that, go back to corporate America. That's what it is. I mean, no offense, because I was in corporate America, but that's exactly what it is. So if that's really what you want, go for it. But don't build that out to be your entrepreneurial life. What's the point?
Way to say, instead of thinking outside the box, build a damn new box or break the box, climb over the box, jump over the damn box. Why stay in the damn box?
Yeah, exactly. And even going beyond the box, right, is, do you have...
Maybe it's a circle.
Yeah. And a lot of times I think a lot of people, they build a beautiful box and they forget that they need to put some, holes in it so they can breathe, You're like, you're suffocating in your own box.
That's really interesting. So one of the things that I find is, especially when entrepreneurs are starting out or when they're launching something new and they're working so hard they're really consumed, and I get it because I've lived it so many times. So this is not a judgment thing. This is an experience thing. You just realize that you've had your head down for so long that you've kind of lost track of life. And really, like, all you do is work. And it's a really narrow, that tunnel vision. It's kind of hollow. And even though if you're working for something that's just this incredible thing to bring, to the forefront, if really you realize that you've given up all other areas of life, I have to tell you, I find that, statistically speaking, it's proven that entrepreneurs that only work make less money, they're far less creative, they have less impact, less influence and authority, less credibility, all the way around. So entrepreneurs that are out playing, creating life, having fun, building relationships are the ones that see success, and they see it at a much more rapid pace. So it's, talk about creating a box with holes. How about just get out of the damn box every once in a while and play? It'll be there when you get back.
Exactly. It's like you got one little hole and you're like trying to breathe through it,
Yeah.
It's like telling a lady the other day, she's like, Tanya, I keep looking, through the peephole and I can see that things are there. I can see that life is there, that my business is there. And I'm like, baby, the door's already open. Why are you looking through the peephole, right?
Kick down the door.
It's like...
Yeah. Totally.
You're standing behind the door when the door's already open.
I'll kick down the door. Take your stilettos and kick down the damn door. Anyway, ladies, I have to get off now, but thank you so much for having me.
Bye, Dillis.
Take care.
One of these days she's going to get out of her job. And so, one of the things that I think too, kind of going back to business is if you've got to learn to not only open up and build relationships and build friendships. And I think that's really kind of what you were saying is beyond the business part of it. But then also that you've got to focus on business. I see people that all they do is focus on how much fun they're going to have.
Yeah.
And then they're not even selling or, like perfect example, flying to San Diego. I said, by this brilliant lady. She knew me. Okay, this is so funny. She knew me 7 years ago. 7 years ago.
And you guys sat by each other.
We sat by each other. We saw each other like, I know you. And we started talking and we talked. And she goes, oh my gosh, I want to sign up with the Public Speakers Association. I'm like, that's great. Would you like a form? And she's like, you got a form with you? I'm like, I walk around with forms like all the time. It's pulled out the form. I sold a membership on the plane ride. Right?
Oh my gosh. I love it. That's so interesting. So not too long ago, I was traveling and I made, it's not sold yet, but it's a very large deal when it will go through. And, but I just happened to sit next to this attorney and was talking to him about the work that I do in regards to language and communication. And it ended up that we got into this 4-hour amazing discussion. And to be honest, even if nothing comes of this deal, it was an incredible conversation, one that really was just on all levels was amazing to me. And I just thought, gosh, that was so fun. And I don't always want to talk on the plane. I know, Tanya, you love to talk on the plane, but there's sometimes I get on the plane and I just think, dang, I'm tired. I just want to put my headphones in and be like, peace out. I got to take a break. But it was so refreshing. And then to think, like the possibilities of where conversations and relationships, you never know where they're going to go with, like you said, collaboration, or where you're going to make a deal, like how awesome is that?
Well,
it had nothing to do with my, it actually was on the way home, Tanya, from Orlando. It had nothing to do with what I was doing, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
well,
being prepared.
And it's also about being open for opportunities,
Yeah.
And I always look around because because even after I made the sale, I'm like, okay, I got to work on an article for a magazine I'm going to be in. And so we finished ours. We were like, peace out. And we went both, started working. But a lot of times people don't look at, well, we cherry pick. If we start looking at sales, a lot of times we like looking around, who's the best person to sit with? And if you leave it open to opportunities, it's amazing what will happen. I got on a plane. I forget where I was going, but there was a very large gentleman who was kind of taking over the next seat. And I'm like, this would be a great place because no one's going to want to sit between us, right? I said, I'm going to have extra elbow room. So I asked him if I could sit by him, and he was so happy that I was going to sit by him. So we started chatting, and I told him about the Public Speakers Association. His father used to be a huge stage speaker back in the day.
Wow.
And he's always wanted to be a speaker, but most people would have discounted him like right then, right? So a lot of times you've got to stop trying to cherry pick and decide for people who's going to be all on board.
What's interesting about cherry picking? So early in my career, so I've been a coach longer than, when I first was a coach, there was no such thing as being a coach. You didn't have an online anything. There was no online presence. There was no Facebook, Twitter, nothing, no blabbing. And I remember going to this local event where I was speaking, excuse me, and I remember thinking, because I realized I had gotten into this pattern of surveying my audience, right, and making some decisions about them. And not that that's not wholeheartedly, completely like an incorrect thing to do, but I realized there was this one woman, she's sitting in the back, and she was in a suit, and everybody else was a little bit dressed down more than what she was. And she sat very just kind of sternly and staunchly, and there was no expression on her face. And I had dubbed her as, okay, well, she's the one that hates my guts today. Okay, great. There she is. Now I know. And I was cool with it, whatever. I went on with the show. And at the end, after I had helped people, talk to people in the back of the room, done all the things I needed to do, I realized, oh, she's still lingering. And I thought, well, she must be waiting for somebody. She comes up to me and she says, I want to work with you. How do I make that happen? It was like, wham, bam, done. She ended up being one of my best clients ever, one of the most productive people. She was an implementer to the, nth degree. She was an incredible person, but it was just really funny to me because I thought, if that's not a lesson, I don't know what is. And I know, I can see her face, and I haven't worked with her for a long time, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Like sometimes you just don't know. And so you do have to be open and stay in a place of possibility because, and there's a difference, right? Like curiosity and skepticism can kind of parallel one another. And you really got to make sure that you're in a place of curiosity because you never know where it's going to go. And the deal that I created with her was I was making a percentage. I don't work this way now, but I was making a percentage off what we were creating. And I made a crap ton of money with that lady. And I'm just telling you, like, I just think, see, if I had really stuck to my guns, she's the one that hates me, and moved on, walked out, not giving her the time of day, it could have been a completely different story. You just never know.
And I find, especially when I go and speak in front of a group, before I even get on stage, I'm talking to as many people as I can. And there's a intimidation factor that happens when you're going to be a speaker. So those that are getting started, there's a certain group of people that are usually analytical. They're kind of surveying everything. You have to approach them because they won't come to you. And if you don't approach them, you've lost that opportunity for helping them. And so I've always walked up to people that look like they're just about to, freak out if you walk over to them. It's like, okay, let me go say hi to this guy, because he's like, totally out of his comfort level. And they really appreciate that. And you get some of the most amazing clients by being involved in their world and not forcing them to come into your world.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Right?
Yeah.
So it's all good. All right. So, Andrea, do you have anything that you would like to gift everyone today, or something that you can get them to contact you?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I have so much content. It would make your eyes roll in the back of your head. So a couple of things, and I don't know what will land for you or what would be most beneficial to you. So I'll just throw out two things for you. For sure, connect with me in my Facebook group. It's called The Experimental Entrepreneur. The link's over to the side or whatever direction it is. And if you are a coach or service-based and you do any type of coaching, I have an awesome document that would really help you. It's called 38 Intentional Questions to help guide and navigate clients through to their own breakthrough. So if you want that, just hit me up and I will totally shoot it off to you. The other thing too is that if you're really kind of stuck in regards to how to get clients, so I work with a lot of service-based entrepreneurs, a lot of coaches, or if you're stuck in regards to the language. So language is a really big thing. And sometimes people don't act because they are stuck because they literally do not have the words. And once you give them the words, they can tweak them and make them their own and move forward. So if you want to have a connection, a conversation and connect and really just talk it out, I'm happy to open that up. I have a little bit of time this week that I could do that with you. Here's the deal. I'm not a hard sales chick. Like, I am not the coach for everybody. So if that's something that piques your interest, but you're freaked out because you think I'm going to sell the snot out of it or whatever, take it or leave it. It's not a big deal to me, but that's not my MO. That's not how I work. So you can be rest assured that it'll be a conversation. And really my ultimate goal is always to help people just move from point A to point B. And it's always different, right? And if you're looking for a coach and it's something that we both want to have a discussion about, then we can go that direction. And if not, then we won't. And life will be fine. That's not a big deal.
Love it, love it, love it. And just let everybody know that we are going to Blabathon. So it's the Fab Blabathon. It's going to be March 22nd, and we're looking for presenters. So we're going to have two people as my guest all day long from like 10 to 8 p.m. Central Time. I know, it's going to be so much fun. So if you want to have that, and then of course everyone's going to be pushing it to their social media aspect. So I'll be pushing it to 20,000 people. Everybody's going to be pushing it to their list. So if you want to get that kind of exposure to your business and to your expertise, we want you on the Blabathon. So March 22nd, you go to Public Speakers with an S Association, all spelled out.com, and I've got it over in the sidebar there. That way you can just click on it and sign up for it. So you can find it under members page. It's Fab Blabathon. We also, right, tomorrow, that's so fun. It's going to be, and I'm like, if I'm hosting it, how do I go and have, a little girl's break or, eat something? I'm like, I have to figure this out, but we'll get it figured out. And then we also have tomorrow and Thursday, we've got, which is in February, in case you're watching the replay. So on the 24th and 25th, we're doing our virtual summit. So if you would like to listen in to some amazing presentations, it's all in relationships, both business and family. And so if you'd like to jump in and listen to that, it's very easy to do. Let me put in the call-in number. It's and you can find out all the information on the website also. See if I want those there. Obviously, I cannot type and talk at the same time. But,
that's okay. I can hum while you're doing that.
Right. So if you want to go see who the lineup is and what they're going to be speaking about, then just go in and share that up on. I like this little share last 30 seconds. I love that. So you just go into the website, Public Speakers Association. There's a summit page. There's a drop down that says February, and that way you can share on that and see who's there. I'm trying to do this share now, and it's not working. It's interesting.
Do you want me to type something in?
They have share last 30 seconds now with Blab, and every time I've clicked on it, now and in the past, it doesn't work. So I think they're still trying to, get it working. But we wanted to get you involved, and we want you to be on my show. If you'd like to be on my show, also go to the website under members page. It says TV show. You can sign up for that. We'll be doing another virtual summit in April, and it's a teleconference. So if you'd like to present on that, we would love for you to be on that also. I'm about to send out a huge amount of speaking opportunities. So if you're wanting to get out there and actually speak at associations, corporate conferences, industry conferences, TED Talks, you name it, I send it out. I've got a fabulous lady. Did you connect with Joey? I sent out that little message that she's looking for women to interview for confidence, women in confidence or something, confident women's. You need to go back and look at that. And I could always introduce you.
You sent me the email directly?
No, I sent it in a list of opportunities. It's in the speaking opportunities page. You can find it there.
I'll go look.
So y'all jump on that opportunity. So yay. Let's see what else. Oh, don't miss the opportunity to be nominated for Collaborator of the Year, local, national, international. Did you do that yet, Andrea?
No. I can nominate myself?
Yeah. You can nominate yourself. Like, so I know. People are like, what? I can't nominate myself. I'm like, yes, you can. My panel does not care if you nominate yourself. They care the least. So nominate yourself, or if you feel really weird about that, get someone to nominate you. So
no, I think I'm the bomb, Tanya. I'll totally nominate myself.
Exactly. So go to Public Speakers with an S conference.com, and there's a nomination button right there. We also have a video submission. So we want you to get out there and show people your brilliance. So we've got all kinds of topics like best business tip, best personal story, best personal tip, best whatever. There's all kinds, health and wellness, everything you could think of. So go and submit a video. Please don't make it professional. We're not looking at how professional your video is. It's your message. It's what you're saying. Under 5 minutes, and then you could use that in your bio also of, and put it on your website that you're a finalist in a video contest. A message contest is really what it is. And it's on the same website, Public Speakers with an S conference.com. We've got it over in the side panel, so it makes it easy to do. Let's get this guy off of here real quick. That's awful.
Yes. Yeah. Craziness. Yeah, that's awesome. That is so fun. I was going to tell you, so one of the, starting next week, you made me think of this. Starting next week, I am doing a challenge. It's totally free. It's just, I'm going to walk people through what I work with clients on to create that really powerful, just confidence building muscle, right, for your mindset. And it'll just be a little thing every day, Monday through Friday, starting next week. And you can get the details in my Facebook group. But one of the clients that I have been working with this on for specifically 6 months, last week he just created $250,000 in revenue. And I guarantee you when we link it back, it all goes back to this mindset practice. So it's really, really powerful. It's not crazy or anything like out there, like not talking about being on another planet or anything like that. I mean, it's all practical things that you can do. So yeah, if you're interested, go to the Facebook group and you can join us because it's gonna rock.
Oh, I forget to unmute myself. Also, we've got the Public Speakers Association Facebook group, so y'all can jump in on that. We've got almost 5,000 people on there, so it's fun. You know, it's all about getting your message out there and changing lives. So if you want to go and change lives, we want to help you with that. It's so much fun.
Oh my gosh, PSA is amazing.
Thank you. I've had a blast. You know, the other day I was talking to a lady and she's like, you know, how are you doing, Tanya? I'm like, I am in the moment where everything is so happy, right? You just feel good about everything because you're around the right people. Your clients are the right people. You just feel this great positivity. So it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, everyone. Well, thank you, Andrea, for being on today, and I look forward to connecting with everyone. Please reach out, say hello. Don't just come in and listen. Let's have a chat and get to know each other.
Perfect. Thanks, Tanya. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.